First thing is the election of the chairman, which we find quite strange, but we have to do that.
Proposed councillor Knowles.
Seconded. Thank you very much. Item number 2 is the Licensing Act, an application for a new premises licence. The Nest Coffee Shop at 9A High Street, Bramley. This is in the agenda on pages 3 to 40. I'll ask the licensing officer, Mr. Hughes, to introduce the item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, as you stated, you have in front of you an application for a new premises licence for the Nest Coffee Shop, High Street, Bramley, where 2 valid representations have been received from other persons, which are attached to Annex 4. There have been no representations received from responsible authorities. In brief, the applicant seeks to license the premises for the sale of alcohol Monday to Thursday, 12 till 4:30, Friday to Saturday, 12 o'clock till 2300, 11 p.m, and Sunday at 12 o'clock to 1500, 3 p.m. The opening hours are stated on the application, but there may be some confusion and you may be able to correct. But it just talks about opening hours on a Monday till 4:30, 8 a.m. till 4:30, Tuesday to Saturday, 8 o'clock till 2300, which doesn't match the sale of alcohol times, and Sunday 10 till 3 o'clock. Officers request you consider the application.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. So that everybody knows, I'm Robert Knowles. I'm Chairman of Licensing at Waverley. I'm a member for Hazelmere. My colleagues are Councillor Goodridge, who is also the Vice Chairman of the committee and represents Wonersh, and Councillor Darcy, who represents Bramley. Have you received a copy of the report? Should have a green front page.
The report?
This, I'm referring to.
No, we haven't received that. No.
Have you got a spare?
We haven't received that.
Pardon?
It wasn't attached. Thank you.
Would you like a few minutes to read?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll do that. And
I haven't. I've only had one spare copy. They were emailed out as well as.
yes, we'll retire while this is sorted out, and let us know when you're ready. Mr Hughes.
Yes, while you're out, Chairman, just clarified the hours. So the alcohol hours are correct, as in your report, and the opening hours will be the same as the sale of alcohol hours, except the opening times will be from 8 o'clock Monday to Saturday and 10 o'clock on a Sunday. Is that correct?
We open at 9 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh, then it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Okay. I've amended the report.
Yes, Gillian picked them to just.
We better, where's she gone?
She should be back in a minute. She was
Okay.
getting one copy, so.
Right. We'll just.
I can remember it all, but it's quite nice to have it.
Fine, well, so we'll continue with, as I was saying, then we're more organised. I've introduced the councillors. We have Mr Hughes from the licensing department, and we also have a borough solicitor to advise us on any legal matters, and a member of Democratic Services who acts as secretary to the subcommittee. So the applicants and the objectors, would you just introduce yourself so we know who you are, please? Applicant.
Hi there, I'm Lucy Clayton, and this is Josh Howard, and we're the owners of the Nest Coffee Shop.
Hi, my name is Ian Tupper and this is Nicola Gordon. We live above, as residents, above the Nest Coffee Shop. Ian Tupper and Nicola Gordon.
Thank you very,
Sorry, I've got to state the address as well. It's flat 9A at Bramley High Street.
okay, thank you very much. The hearing is as formal, but as relaxed as possible, and the questions subcommittee ask must be proportionate and relevant to the matter under consideration and not be unnecessarily intrusive. The councillor solicitor may intervene if the question exceeds reasonable limits. Are there any questions you want to ask about procedure? Okay, thank you very much. Then we'll ask the applicant if you can make a statement regarding your application.
Regarding the application, we're here today to come up with a compromise, and we're very willing to listen and understand the objections and the concerns, and we would like to come up with an agreement that makes everybody happy.
Thank you. So can you just explain, before we get any further, what you propose to do? Obviously, there's a photograph in the papers. You're already a coffee shop, so what is your proposal? Why you are asking for the alcohol license?
So our proposal is to not open as often as we initially asked on our application to sell alcohol. We understand the neighbours' concerns, and the compromise that we'd like to propose is that we stay open to sell alcohol on a Friday and a Saturday until 11 p.m. The reason that we've put extended hours during the week is to cover the possibility that we would have one-off events. So evenings, sort of a supper club, if you like, which wouldn't happen that frequently. So the application, the reason we've put so many hours for the sale of alcohol in the evenings is just to cover our back for those one-off events. So our argument is that it won't be every single evening, by all means. We are hoping to succeed with the application. We've already invested a lot, and it was my understanding from when I spoke to the council that we could try and come up with an amicable agreement. I approached the neighbours in person to discuss a possible compromise and to listen in person their concerns. For us, it's important that we go ahead with the sale of alcohol. We need to get creative in how we're making some money given the living crisis, COVID, everything that we've had to go through. So we would ask for the support of our neighbours and the community.
Thank you. I'll ask my colleagues first if they have any questions, and then we'll go to the objectors. Councillor Goodrich.
Can I get it clear? What you're saying is you want alcohol license on Monday to Thursday till 4:30 p.m, which is presumably covering the lunch trade. And then on Sunday, slightly shorter till 3 p.m, again to cover lunch trade. And then Friday and Saturday till 11. You close at 11 anyway. Normally there might be some period between you stop selling alcohol and closing. In other words, you don't sell alcohol at 1 minute to 11 and then close at 11. Would you be prepared to consider, for example, stopping to sell alcohol at 10:30, something like that? I mean, it just occurred to me, if your opening hours till 11, it might be sensible to stop selling alcohol at a period before you close. And if so, what time would you suggest?
So was this for the Saturday?
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Yes, we'd be happy to stop selling alcohol at 10:30 and make sure everybody's left the premises by 11 p.m.
Okay. Can you just explain? I think Chairman was getting at when you start with was you're a coffee shop. So what are you going to be doing that's not? I mean, I think you've been there a year or two.
We've been there for 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
And
sorry.
I'm sure you can understand that we've gone through.
Yeah, I
huge,
understand that. So what
tremendous-
are you planning to do? Just have wine with the sort of meal you may be having, or?
Yes, so the idea is it's a wine, exactly that. It's a wine evening. So we're planning to have it's sort of a French themed cheese boards and things like that. So we would only be selling wine and beer.
Right.
And that's the general idea. So it's a civilized alternative to the pub. And yeah, so that's the general idea behind it.
You've got two pubs opposite, I think.
There are two pubs opposite, exactly. The community would really love this. It's something different.
Right.
And for us, it's a necessity to get creative of means of income at this point in our business.
And so far as people coming to you, we've got a map somewhere which shows car park. I think the car park outside the library 23 is for the general public, isn't it?
Correct,
park
yes,
under
it's
the
a
library.
communal, yeah, it's allocated by the
park-
council.
The car park off Wayside Cottages, which is immediately behind you, is that for residents or is it for general public? Can you tell me?
It's the council have allocated
Page 23.
Page 23, we're looking at.
They've allocated a space for
This one.
the general public and commuters. They've put a sign on the board there, even though there is a residence to the exact back of the Iron Court School, to accommodate in the commuters and the shoppers for the butchers, you know, Chinese, fish and chip shop, etc.
So it's for general public, the car
Absolutely.
park behind you, is it?
No, not directly behind the nest. It's just a little adjacent to the right of it. Which bit am I looking
It's
at?
here, right here.
Yeah, there's parts that's allocated to customers and cyclists or passers-by. And but to the further left of it is residential.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Councillor Darcy.
Hi, I'm slightly confused because of the various different times, because I'll confess that I do live in Bramley and I stroll past your coffee shop quite often. I noticed that on the sign, it says that it's open until 4:30, apart from on, I think it was Saturday and Sunday, when it's at 3 o'clock on a Sunday, and it's, I can't remember what time, 6:30, I think it was on Saturday. That's what it says on the door.
So as in our the Nest coffee shop opening times.
Yes.
No, not unless we put it during the Christmas period, because we changed the opening times during Christmas period, so you know,
Okay.
where people are away. But on the sign right now, our opening times are Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock to 4:30.
Right.
That's the shop opening time, and then on a weekend, Saturday, 9 o'clock to 4:30, and then Sunday from 10 to 3 or 3:30, whereabouts.
Okay, so that's when it currently opens.
Yes.
Yeah.
And opens and closes at, yeah.
So the reason I'm confused is because on page 17, where it says our premises are open to the public, the times are different. So it suggests that it opens till 11 every night, apart from Sunday and Monday. So that was slightly confusing. But anyway, you've clarified that. So in essence, what you're proposing is that you're going to change a couple of your opening hours, the Friday and the Saturday, so that they'll be till 11. Is that right?
That's correct.
And is that, from what you said earlier, you were saying something about supper clubs, is that, will they be on a Friday and a Saturday?
Possibly, it could be a Friday or Saturday when we run the events. Sometimes depend on backed by the popularity and also availability. When most people are around, where we're more likely to fill up the space. So it could be a Friday, it could be a Saturday.
But it wouldn't be any of the other days.
We normally don't tend to do in a weekday when we do the supper club. It could be, but it depends. We're just playing around. We've done a few, which has been quite successful, and the public is requesting for us to do more events like that. So yeah, it could be the odd time where we could do one in a weekday.
Well, it couldn't, because you're only applying for a license to 11 on a Friday or a Saturday, according to this form. So that would mean it could only be on a Friday or a Saturday.
Yeah.
So
I think the confusion is, originally I had asked for the license to be throughout the week until 11 PM to cover our back in case it turned out we needed to do the event during the week. But the compromise that we're trying to reach with our neighbours is that we now just apply for the Friday and Saturday. So the event will take place on Friday or Saturday.
Good. I just wanted to clarify that. That's all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll now invite the objectors to make their statement regarding the application, please.
Thank you. We're residents above the cafe. The opening hours at the moment, we took our tenancy on that grounds. which is perfectly fine, which is cafe. We have currently found out that the back area as well is partly garden, is part of our premises. Unfortunately, due to the cafe hours, we compromised from our side of things. Obviously, they're open particular hours and so forth. We're not able to use that, but our bedroom is on the back of that. So I feel opening till 11 o'clock in the evening on a Friday and Saturday, summer hours, is going to cause a disturbance for sleeping. Obviously, things like I work, you know, from home as well. There's a lot of issues that could arise from that. He's saying about the parking issues. Currently, yes, there are 8 residential parking spaces in the back. And there's a further, I think there's a further 10 spaces for non-residential, i.e. visiting businesses. However, we have spoken to Waverley Council previously, and it is looking like it's going to be permitted over the next 9 to 12 months from what we've been told. So in regards to noise, how I don't see they're saying the benefit of the living crisis and things like that. How are they going to open there and also their premises in Guildford at the same time? That's a question I would like to ask as well. Where does it benefit them in regards to opening till that time here? After a certain time, there's hardly anyone in the area. And the noise pollution from people outside, the compromise that we spoke to the Nescafe owners was, oh, you know, we won't let people outside after a certain time. However, their premises clearly states that this is the Nescafe and this is our area. So how can you say to someone in the Heights, I'm sorry, you can't go out there, but it's part of our premises, but we can't allow you out there? People aren't going to do that.
Is there anything else either of you want to say?
I just want to add that my partner suffers from epileptic fits. It doesn't happen, thank God, every day, like some people do have it, but it happens once every now and then, at least once a month. The ambulance have been called multiple times to our premises. The December last year, the ambulance service was so busy that they couldn't come out. I had to, unfortunately, that's what's happening with this crisis going on. Ambulance services are busy. So I had to put him in the car as I'm the only one driving and taking him to the hospital. The customers that will be coming to these evening events, if they've got nowhere to park, there is a part by the Nescafe, which 2 parking spaces are there. One is ours and one is theirs. There's multiple occasions where someone will park there thinking, oh, they can still get out. Yes, we can still get out, but there will be someone else that will park next to them. And then we both get blocked in. And then I need to then run around looking for people when I've got someone convulsing that I can't really leave to get to hospital. And that's a life that I can't leave him alone, because if he convulsions wrongly or does something, he's hit his head multiple times by falling. You know, his life is more important to me, running around trying to find people to move their cars. And, you know, they park there without thinking. I've got photos of another day before we sent these photos, that literally both cars were parked in. And, you know, and as my partner says, our bedroom, because he suffers from fits, he needs proper sleep. Summertime, we're going to have our bedroom window open. It's right on the back of their garden. And people that have beers and wine in their hand are going to laugh and have a good time in the garden. So That's just a point from me.
Can I refer to the page 28 of the document? This was a example of a pop-up event when they opened on bonfire night, and literally you can see there's multiple cars parked around the area, and there's no way you could leave the premises if you really needed to. And these are the sort of things we want to sort of look at for health reasons, and obviously disturbance in the evenings. I know it's going to be Friday and Saturday, but it's the case of the never use the allocated free parking within in the library. I have never seen anyone do that. Up to, I would say, about 2 months, not even that. There was a parking sign with the advertisement as Nescafe free parking around the back, which has now been removed. So it's just a case of the noise disturbance more than anything for ourselves. And if they're a cafe and they're wanting to serve alcohol, understandable. But if there's other alcohol establishments in the area, is there a need?
Thank you very much. Would you like to say anything in response?
Thank you very much. And we are sympathetic and listen closely to your concerns. The first point I'd like to make on the picture regarding firework night. That evening, I bumped into our neighbour and apologised sincerely for the cars as shown on page 28. However, the locals who were in our establishment that evening weren't necessarily parking around the back. They were walking past. People, I think 3,000 people come to Bramley on bonfire night, and they're not necessarily looking to come to the Nest coffee shop. They are going to the firework display and desperate for any sort of parking. So I'm not sure we can take full responsibility for that particular incident. And there's nothing to say it won't happen next year. When I approached the neighbours to come up with a compromise and to listen to their concerns, I understood about the parking issue, and that's why we took away our sign that directed customers to the parking around the back. And we are trying to help the situation by ensuring our staff do not park in the space that they are in question, and that we do not encourage the customers to park around there either. So this is our olive branch of trying to resolve that situation. I wouldn't argue that there would be more cars coming to park in the back there. The people who would be coming are locals who, if they're having a drink or 2 or 3, are going to walk back to their homes. And again, I would argue I can't foresee that it's going to be a problem with the parking. When I spoke to the neighbours, I suggested that we would come up with a solution for the noise in the shared communal garden, understanding that their bedroom is right next to the garden, and that we would not allow the customers after our usual opening hours of 8 a.m. till 4:30 p.m, that we would not allow them into the garden because it would then be off limits. Customers would not be allowed to drink outside in the garden in the summertime. And this was my proposal to our neighbours, that we would come up with a solution to help the situation. So we would it would need to be a fire exit, and we would put a sign on the back door, fire exit only, and off. Please do not, and they would not be allowed to access the garden. It will be off limits during the evening of while we're selling alcohol. And the only way they could exit the premises would be through the front door that leads onto the high street. My argument is that, yes, there are two other pubs on the high street, as you know, the Jolly Farmer and the Wee Chief, who have been granted, of course, they have their license, and it is the high street in the middle of Bramley. And my argument would be that given other premises on the high street have been approved an alcohol license, I feel that it's fair that we would as well. And especially as we're doing our best to compromise and come up with solutions for our neighbours' concerns. We are very considerate people and we wouldn't want to upset our neighbours, and I would go as far as saying that the community actually value us a lot. And I would go as far as saying that we've had quite a few, at least 3 people complain about our neighbours upstairs and send us emails about hostility towards them regarding the parking. It has nothing to do with us and we don't get involved, but we've had a particular neighbour of ours email us demanding that we get involved because of the hostility that they had experienced from the neighbours above regarding the parking issue in question, that swearing that all sorts of verbal abuse. And I have all the emails, I've brought them with me. I've got them here, and words used that are unspeakable, and threats of spitting on the cars, and we're hearing from the community and the neighbours the hostility, but we doing our best to obviously not get involved, but to also make everybody happy at the same time.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, just to add to that, we've come up, the reason why we're here is because actually a lot of our customers and the community have demanded something of this nature. They want an alternative from going to the pub atmosphere, because when they come in there, it's pretty chilled, very relaxed. I don't know, Mr. DRC, if you've been into the Nest before. And then the atmosphere, a lot of people request like, oh, you know, do you do any Prosecco's or anything? That wouldn't it be nice to have something with a meal? So after 4 years of doing this market research is where we have arrived at this situation. We've been here supporting the community, doing Christmas cook-offs and so forth for the people that can't, you know, that couldn't go out during the lockdown, or in terms of whether they had somebody to be with. So they were able to come to the Nest, enjoy some food and so forth. So this is a stage where I think we have reached the point in within the business that we need to develop. And it's not, we well-to-do people, we respect ourselves and our community, and we understand that we have to live amicably with people. So we don't want to do anything that's going to upset anyone. You know, there's been issues with car park issues, you know, with other residents and so forth. You know, we didn't have any problem with our neighbors until this incident where they found out that we're opening a bar. And they were quite disgruntled that we didn't tell them that we wanted to have a license to operate in the evening and so forth, you know. Fair enough, we made that mistake, but we haven't got time to be informing each and every one of our neighbors that we intend to, you know, open up a bar. But this is where the, once the license in process, you know, when it goes through, and then I guess people who wanted to know about the bar and so forth are going to find out, right? But the majority, the community, have worked on this, and this is why we're in this position. And I guess they are the only people who have objected because they live upstairs. But like I said, we're here so that we can compromise and then find a, you know, a resolution to this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Goodrich.
Arising out of the objector's comments, could I ask a question? On page 21, you show a plan of where the tables are going to be and the toilets and the cupboards and all that lot. A red line is round that plan. Is that the area that you're wanting the license to cover? Because it doesn't include a garden, for example.
That is correct. And it doesn't include the garden.
And therefore, as Mr. Hughes can advise us, can customers go into the garden?
And as it would stand, unless you put a condition on the license, but yes, because you've got, depending on whether they've applied for on or off sales, if they've got off sales that they can, because it's on consumption. So no, it's on the premises only. However, at the moment, because of the COVID, the government did a blanket that allowed all unlicensed premises to have off sales. So they could, at the moment, take it in the garden unless there was a restriction on the premises license preventing consumption outside.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We shall now adjourn and consider the matter, and we will return and tell you.
Could I just add one more thing? The statement that was just made there was by a previous neighbour. We've never, they have had, he doesn't live there anymore, and the Nest Cafe has also had issues with him. So we can't, I don't think that is relevant to this. And what was said was exaggerated from said neighbour who has now moved and hasn't been in the premises for, I'd say, about 4 months, 5 months now.
Thank you very much. Is there anything that you want to say to sum up? There's no need if you feel you've said what you want to. I don't want to put you on the spot.
One final thing, I do hope that you consider that we are an essential part of Bramley's community and we need to survive. We need to stay there.
Thank you very much. We'll now adjourn and consider the matter. Thank you for waiting, everybody. We've carefully considered everything that has been said. And we will grant the license on the amended supply of alcohol hours, which are Monday to Thursday, 12 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 12 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. and Sunday 12 until 3 p.m. We grant the license in the area of the application, which is shown in red on the plan that you have submitted. We will put a condition that there be no service in the communal garden after 7:30 p.m, which is permitted under a government extension to the on license. Once that extension ends, of course, you are restricted to just the area outlined in red. And also the use of the garden is without prejudice to the legal rights that may exist as it is a communal garden. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope the compromise that we have come to is satisfactory. Thank you. Colleagues, that brings to an end this
Thank you. Thank you
committee.
for your
Thank
time,
you.
councillors. Thank you.
Thank you.